Good afternoon. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Jeff. Little John Media Room. Yeah, that's a good phrase for this. This is really cool. This is great. Really appreciate everyone taking the time and coming. It's a tremendous day for Clemson women's basketball, and really excited just to formally introduce Coach Shawn Poppie and his wife Regina and family here. Certainly with the approval last week by our Board of Trustees and announcement. Certainly Shawn has been out plenty. As far as he's met with the team and program and putting his stamp on things very quickly, but certainly the formal remarks here today and time with Shawn is really exciting and important. Listen, this coincides with just tremendous growth of women's basketball. It's undeniable. If you're watching games last night, certainly over the past couple weeks, couple years, looking ahead to Final Four next weekend, really significant growth in that sport, and really excited for Clemson to again double down on our anticipation, our excitement, our investment in all 21 of our programs, but in particular for this day, women's basketball. And we're just bullish on what Clemson women's basketball has been, but what it can be. There's plenty of banners up in the rafters here. 16 NCAA tournaments, 27 postseason appearances, 12 top 25 seasons in our 49-year history here at Clemson for women's basketball. Coach Jim Davis, who is unable to be here this morning or this afternoon, but is a big part of that, certainly was one that I counseled on through our search. He's meant a lot to this program and this university and will remain to do so. But listen, it's Clemson, right? And as we embarked on the search and what we found and as we navigated through our aspirations for the program, just came back to the ceiling is really high there. We are bullish on Clemson women's basketball. Again, Clemson, the brand, the Tiger Paw, and what we've been able to do as a university, as a community, and certainly for those support resources within our department, resources, investment, facilities, and ultimately people. So we couldn't be more excited to welcome a new staff led by Coach Poppie and family and others who are here, I know, to help lead the next era of Clemson women's basketball. This jersey that I'll present to Coach Poppie here shortly has a 50 on it. As I just mentioned earlier, we are embarking on our 50th anniversary of women's sports here at Clemson, led by Clemson women's basketball as well. So a real seminal time and seminal year upcoming for Clemson women's basketball, let alone our entire department and our women's sports here at Clemson. Significant interest in the job. Which is something that we anticipated and we're excited about. But as you go through the process and talk to those inside the industry, so to speak, and those as you're going through a search, it was probably even more than we anticipated as it relates to the excitement, what we learned, the interest from all corners of the country in this job. And again, we think that speaks to some of the notes that I just shared about the history, let alone our anticipation and excitement for what the job has been and can be. Kelly Gramlich, who may be here, maybe not, is certainly one. Sharpshooter Kelly is here. And there's Jacob in the stroller. Kelly, thank you for being here. Former sharpshooter, incredible presence within the sport, within the industry. And I've leaned on Kelly a good amount throughout our search here. And Kelly, I really appreciate that to arrive at Coach Poppie, but let alone everything you've meant for Clemson women's basketball in the sport. So thanks so much for being here always. A couple other quick notes. Listen. We had to move quickly through the search. Felt like we wanted to get ahead of the market. There's been a lot of transition. It's certainly part of our job as we navigate a search and look at candidates to act efficiently and certainly balance and recognize the transition time for the women's program and our student athletes that are here. And that's something we don't take lightly. And so we wanted to move expeditiously, but ultimately finding the best coach for this program, and feel like we couldn't have found a better fit than Shawn Poppie. The feedback that we got, solicited and unsolicited, on Shawn from all corners as we were going through the process was really remarkable. It really was. And you get that from time to time in searches for whatever the sport may be, but it was really unique with Shawn as we went through it. I feel like if you look at the resume, so to speak, just the experience set, couldn't have a better fit for Clemson. Time as a head coach, winning the Southern Conference twice in his 2 years there, playing in the NCAA tournament. Prior to that, as an assistant coach in the league at a program that certainly has moved the needle for their women's basketball program like we aspire to here at Clemson. And then ultimately time in the Upstate, with his time at Furman and USC Upstate, and then having played collegiately here in the Upstate at Limestone. And so that just checks all the boxes, so to speak, from a piece of paper, which is important. But then you meet the person, and that's what really matters. And from our very initial conversations with Shawn, and as we went through the process, it was just so natural in us getting to know each other, Shawn getting to know Clemson, and Clemson getting to evaluate Shawn as a fit here. And it was just a really smooth and natural recruitment as we went through it, and ultimately evaluation. I'd like to thank Stephanie Ellison-Johnson, who's here, for your partnership in the search. Stephanie, please help me thank Stephanie real quick. Stephanie, your stamp is throughout many things here at Clemson and Clemson Athletics, and in particular women's basketball, and you will serve as a great partner with Shawn and staff as we grow. Certainly President Clements and Max Allen were part of this, and our board of trustees as we officially approved the hire. Couldn't do it without the support and alignment that we talk about so much all throughout aspects here of Clemson. And President Clements was a closer in this, as he often is on a number of different recruitment fronts, certainly from a staff standpoint. He has been and will continue to be a big part of all athletics here, but in particular Clemson women's basketball, and for Coach Poppie. Couldn't be more excited for the fit, as I said earlier, for Shawn, his wife Regina, who's a former collegiate athlete and has roots here in the Carolinas and the upstate, and their 3 boys, of which the Neffs are also partial to a family of 3 boys, Kai, Caden, and Cameron. So with that said, I have a jersey to present to Shawn. We're going to have a light show here, and please help me welcome Coach Shawn Poppie and his family here to the Clemson women's basketball family.